Live on DSTV channel 421, Go TV 125, or on all socials and on myjoyonline.com. My name is Carlos Caloni. This is the JoyNews Prime. In our headlines, reports reaching Joy News indicate that one person has died after President Akufo-Addo's convoy was involved in an accident at Bonso Junction in the eastern region. Also, 2 dead, 14 others injured in the fuel tanker explosion in Esikado, Kitan, in the western region. We have details of that story as well. And Ghana needs to intensify its efforts in protecting its fiber optic infrastructure onshore for improved service. That's from CEO of Ghana Telecom's chamber after repair works on the disrupted undersea cables were completed.
Fiber connectivity as a critical resource, and that needs a lot of protection that we've been doing in the past.
We have details of the stories and more in the next 30 minutes. Please stay with us. Thank you so much for choosing us. Now, Joy News is learning President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's convoy has been involved in a fatal accident at Bonso Junction in the eastern region. Reports suggest a Kia Rhino truck crossed the convoy, resulting in a collision that claimed the life of one person and left one others injured. President Akufo-Addo, who attended the funeral of former Deputy Finance Minister John Kuma in Kumasi over the weekend, was not in the convoy during the accident. The president is currently in Accra. The driver of the Toyota Land Cruiser vehicle involved in the accident, named Atta, is reported to have died on the spot, while 3 other occupants of the vehicle sustained varying degrees of injury. Joy News will bring you updates as and when we have it. In a similar incident, 2 persons have died and 14 others have sustained injuries in a Premix fuel tanker explosion at Inshirasia, a community in the Esikado Kitan constituency. According to the Assembly member for Inshirasia Mpasem, Gabriel Ato Mensah, the 2 deceased persons, Joseph Adom, 15 years, and Justice Dadzi, 7 years, were receiving treatment at Efia Nkwanta Hospital in Sekondi when they succumbed to their injuries. Western region correspondent Natalia Kwanza joins with more details. Tell us, when did this happen? Hello, Ina, if you are with us, I'm asking, when did this accident happen?
Yes, Carlos. So it happened yesterday at Injurisia in the Sekondi Takrad Metropolis. And so from what I have gathered from the ground, there is someone in the community, a woman, who is mentally unstable that people usually make fun of. And so yesterday, some kids were making fun of her. Unfortunately, there was a barrel of Premix fuel, which was yet to be transported to the fisher folks at the harbor for them to use for their fishing expedition. Once these people were making fun of her, she threw a stone, and then this stone hit the barrel, and then there was a leakage. And so it spread through the community little by little. Injurisia is a fishing community. Most of the buildings we have there is made up of wood. And so there was this fishmonger who was smoking fish, and she didn't know there was fuel dripping into the community. And so once the fuel got to where she was smoking the fish, it exploded. That's what I have gathered from the community this morning.
I see. So what can you report about those on admission?
Yes, Carlos. So just like we all know, 2 persons have been confirmed dead from the Nkwanta Regional Hospital. 2 have been sent to the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. This afternoon, when I got to the hospital, what I gathered was that they were preparing one other person to be transported to the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital.
And what is the reaction from the community members?
Well, Carlos, they are shocked because for them, this is how they've been transporting their Premix fuel to the fisher folks at the harbour. And this is the first time something of this sort has happened. This is something they never anticipated. And so the whole community of Injuria is in a state of shock as we speak.
Do we know what the police are doing in terms of investigation? Have we seen any government official in the community so far?
Yes, so government officials have been to the community. Police are doing their investigation. Parliamentary candidates for both the NDC and then the NPP for Esikado traditional Esikado constituency have visited these victims and then been to the community as well.
All right, we'll keep our eyes on this particular developing story, and we are so grateful to you. Now let's move on. A rainstorm has wreaked havoc in the Jachiko township in the Bosonche district of Ashanti region, leaving hundreds displaced. The rains tore roofs of over 50 houses, destroying valuables and structures. Officials of the National Disaster Management Organization have visited the community to assess the extent of damage to enable them to provide the needed interventions. My colleague Clinton Yebua has more in the following report.
All right. It's a very sad scene to see here at Jache in the Bosomche district. Just as you can see, residents are trying to gather the few valuable items that they could gather. The rains that happened last night have wreaked havoc to an extent that some things have been damaged beyond repairs. You can see all roofs in this particular house I am in Jache have all been ripped off. You can also see valuable items soaked in water. I would be speaking to some of the affected persons to find out how exactly this has affected them. You can see from the faces how sad they are about the situation, because most of them, this is a remote and secluded area in the Bosomchi district. And so many people, many inhabitants here are more middle-aged and also vulnerable people.
The wind blew me somewhere. The place became dusty, and the rain battered all of our belongings.
Sana inipanya kwai afemu epie kakra na mbe fiase ntimba na se dane die ba bia sei temire ni me makura no omofa me ne mere dem ana ombia mpoma ana omusi afichiri ansa no munya kwai kura pie te no ade si ade na yasem ketwa ja de woman no.
He says yesterday he was not around when it happened, but on returning, he forced his way through just to find out his family has been caught up in the damages. And so they were able to escape from the dangers of the wind and the dangers of the rubbles through their window.
All that I saw were the remains crashing on me. I was saved by my son.
Now, the fortunate part is that no deaths have been reported, but rooms have been left open, wide open to air and to sun.
And so, to me around, and you know, right now we don't know what to do. We don't know what to do. It's almost sad. I don't know what to say.
If you are a dying Dumian, a dining a bubu. A bubu say a new guswa ceiling a what demo and chance a guswa nina free.
Joseph, assuming, is the district chief executive officer of the Bosomtre district.
What we intend to do immediately is to give them mattresses, at least for a start. And thereafter, we shall think of other things like roofing, shoes, and the cement. But immediately what they need most is mattresses. Mattresses here. The number is quite enormous, but we are still counting. We are still assessing so that the proper time we shall give a final figure as how much has been damaged at Jache and its surroundings, but it's quite enormous.
Still on the rains and to the Upper West region, a 2-hour heavy downpour at Gbolo, capital of the Sisala West District, ripped more than half of the roof of the Sisala West District office of the Electoral Commission. The incident halted a limited voter registration exercise at the center. The registration officers were forced to relocate registration machines to safety. JoyNews' Upper West regional correspondent Rafiq Salam has more.
For the past 3 weeks, the Sisala West District office of the Electoral Commission at Bolu had parts of its roof ripped off as a result of a rainstorm that occurred in the enclave. Despite the issue being reported to higher authorities, the roof remained unrepaired, leaving the office vulnerable to the workers and prospective registrants. A 2-hour heavy downpour further compounded the woes of the EC registration officers, bringing the registration process to an abrupt end. The rain came in torrents and poured through the damaged and leaked roof. Confused staff and electoral officers scrambled to relocate machines and equipment to safety. The scene was chaotic, with workers seeking shelter from the rain as the office became inundated with water. By the time JoyNews arrived at the scene, the office staff were busy scooping water and cleaning up the flooded space. The ceiling continued to leak, highlighting the severity of the damage. Attempt to interview the district electoral officer of the EC, Engineer Samson Kodonu, proved futile, though he expressed concern about the ongoing situation. Mumun Bauluwe, an agent of the NDC, voiced his worries. He lamented the interruption of the voter registration process and urgently appealed to the government for assistance.
The whole building was flooded and there was no place for them to even put their registration case, let alone talking about registration. So how for affecting for the building if they don't do anything about it? In fact, the whole building may even collapse, because a political party, we wish we could have been able to do something. By looking at it now, we are in opposition. So the only thing that we do was that we have to contact the DCE, which is the executive representative of the district.
If you've just joined us, JoyNews is learning President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's convoy has been involved in a fatal accident at Bonso Junction in the eastern region. Reports suggest a Kia Rhino truck crossed the convoy, resulting in a collision that claimed the life of one person and left others injured. President Akufo-Addo, who attended a funeral of former Deputy Finance Minister John Kuma in Kumasi over the weekend, was not in the convoy during the accident. The president is currently in Accra. The driver of the Toyota Land Cruiser vehicle involved in the accident, named Atta, is reported to have died on the spot, while 3 other occupants of the vehicle sustained varying degrees of injuries. JoyNews will bring you updates as and when we have it on this unfortunate incident. Now, calls are intensifying for the protection of the country's fiber optic cable infrastructure along major roads in the country. The calls follow the completion of repair works on the undersea cables that disrupted internet access in March this year, impacting 4 West African countries. Initial assessment estimated 6 weeks for the completion of repair works. After weeks, the National Communication Authority, the NCA, has confirmed the completion of repair works leading to full restoration of internet access. However, the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications, Ken Ashigbe, insists the country needs to intensify its efforts in protecting its fiber optic infrastructure onshore for improved service. We'll hear from him shortly, but first, here is the Director General of the National Communication Authority, Dr. Joe Anoche, confirming the completion of repair works.
To announce that all 4 subsea cable landing service providers, ACE, Lane 1, SAT3, and WAX, have completed repair works on the subsea cables that got damaged, leading to the March 14th incident. Repair works on SAT3 cable was completed on 6 April 2024. The ACE cable was repaired on 17th April 2024. The WAS cable was repaired on the 29th April 2024. And last but not least, the Lane 1 cable repairs were completed on May 8, 2024. According to the subsea cable service providers, all the 4 cable faults were found at a crossing with a subsea canyon off the coast of Abidjan called Electoral Commission Canyon.
Reacting to this, Chief Executive Officer of the Telecoms Chamber, Ken Ashigbe, stresses that fiber optic cables across the country suffer numerous cuts due to road and drainage construction works. He emphasizes that such infrastructure along the country's major roads must be protected and treated as national security assets to ensure improved service delivery.
We continue to have the incidents where there are a lot of fiber cuts that go on when these roads works are happening, when drainage works are happening, and other private developers, these fiber cuts that happen, they result in they impact significantly our quality of service. So as we build on the resilience of the undersea cables and other terrestrial connectivity, we need to ensure that our trunks and then the last mile connectivity are protected. We all have seen the importance of data connectivity to our lives. So we need to start treating fiber connectivity as a critical resource, and that needs a lot of protection that we've been doing in the past. So if we want to see further improvement in the quality of our services, we need to do a lot more in protecting our fiber infrastructure.
The Bono East Regional Communications Officer of the National Democratic Congress, Suleiman Mohammed Mustafa, has described the recent visit of the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, to the region as a move to deceive electorate. They accuse the NPP government of abandoning the various road projects in the region, including the age-long Atebubu-Kwame Danso Road. Anna Sabit has more in the following report.
The press conference organized by the Bono East Regional Communications Bureau of the National Democratic Congress as part of its Moment of Truth series was mainly to address comments made by the Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia during his tour of the region. Regional Communications Officer of the party, Suleiman Mohammed Mustafa, described the promises made by Dr. Bawumia as lies.
Indeed, words are easy to alter, but translating the words into actions, it is what is severely lacking in Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia. It must be stated that if the numerous policy solutions that Bawumia espoused whilst in opposition were put into practice, then Ghana would have been on a different pedestal. A pedestal that must not take Ghana back to IMF as head of Ghana's economic management team. Unfortunately, that is not the case. What is, however, intriguing about this whole wasted visit of the VIP is that the Bono East region remains one of the regions that did not benefit from the current government under the stewardship of President Akufo-Addo and the driver's mate, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
The group revealed that the NPP government abandoned several road projects started under the erstwhile Mahama administration with much emphasis on the age-long Atebubu-Kwame Danso Road.
Projects that were being carried out by the NDC government have been left to rot. Those in the health sector, education sector, road infrastructure, rural electrification, water and sanitation, etc. Most have been abandoned by the driver's mate and his boss.
You're still watching the JoyNews Prime with me, Carlos Caloni. We'll take a short break. We'll return with business. Please stay with us. Welcome back and thank you so much for staying with us. In business, government has justified the proposed tax on big technology firms like Google, YouTube and Facebook on revenues earned from the country. It's coming on the back of criticisms that the move will result in these firms abandoning the country. Some have also maintained that these taxes may not be realized anytime soon, looking at the pushback at the global level. Esla Owusu-Ekufo is the Minister for Communication and Digitalization.
Conversation with big tech. They are using the infrastructure put in by the network operators without contributing to the development of that infrastructure. So once you extend connectivity, they ride on it to provide their services, all these huge social media platforms. They don't help roll out the fiber or radio networks that enable them to deliver, that enables you to check your Facebook or account or even to use WhatsApp. None of them contribute to or Google or all the others. None of them contribute to actually building the networks on which they deliver their services to the end consumer. Is that situation going to be allowed to continue? No. At some stage, they're going to be asked to also contribute. So I'm glad GRA has already started having those conversations with them. And it is a global...
Taxing them more, paying more.
They are not paying any taxes at all.
That's all we have in this hour. You can log on to myjoyonline.com for more stories. My name is Carlos Caloni. Thank you so much for watching. The Probe is up next.